cutting-edge animation. Literally the biggest star in holiday entertainment. Some of the most legendary animals of all time. What did this film leave out? Oh, I don't know. How about a little thing called character development, storytelling, and world building? Next time one of your so-called film expert friends starts saying Aesop's Fables opening night featuring Cubby the bear is actually a good movie, send them this video, because it's one of this year's worst cinematic failures. Why is this such a failure? Let's get into it. First off, one thing that characterizes film versus other visual media is that it's known as a director's medium. While things like blog posts are controlled more by the writer, usually when we see a film we expect it to be the vision of a director, which is why the director generally receives first billing in the opening credits. So what does it say about Aesop's Fables opening night featuring Cubby the bear that no mention of the director is made anywhere in the credits? That's right, the first credit we see is for Synchronization by Gene Rodimich. Synchronization? You mean making sure the sound and picture match? Something that literally can be done by a computer? This can only mean one thing. Everyone who was involved in directing, writing, and producing this steaming pile of garbaggio was too embarrassed to put their name on it, leaving synchronizer Gene Rodimich to be stuck with his name on what everyone else must have known was a cinematic failure. Now, something else that's very important in successful cinema is consistency of tone. We don't want to start watching a comedy movie only to have it turn into gruesome horror, right? And yet, the first scene of Aesop's Fables opening night featuring Cubby the bear makes it seem like a Christmas movie? What? I thought we were watching the movie about Cubby the bear opening night, but instead we're just randomly showing Santa Claus at the top? So it's Christmas because based on the title page, I thought we were going to see a movie about a bear conducting an orchestra. And anyway, Santa Claus is known for distributing toys, and last I checked, bears don't want toys, they want honey. And what makes this worse is that rather than making us care about Cubby the bear at the top of this film, we're left scratching our heads about who Cubby the bear is for the entire opening. First we see Santa Claus, right? Then, one talking animal after another gets a line of dialogue only to walk away and into this theater. It leaves you thinking, wait, is this film about the cow or pig that's the usher of this theater that we see in the foreground? Or is it about Cubby the bear? Well, spoiler alert, that cow or pig usher has literally 0 lines of dialogue. Instead, we're supposed to somehow focus our eyes on Cubby the bear, who is framed so poorly in this shot that he seems more like some kind of glitch than the star of the freaking movie. That's right, we see Santa Claus and talking cows who never speak again before we hear from the main protagonist. After about 20% of the film is already over, we see what Cubby the bear wants: to get into the theater to watch opening night. Okay, opening night of what? Like, did anyone think to mention that at all? I mean, I would yell at the one person I know who's associated with this film, Gene Rodimich, for his failure to provide crucial information. But you know what Gene Rodimich would probably say? It's not my fault. I'm just the synchronizer. Do the mouths move when the pigs and cows talk? They do? Okay, then why don't you right off, because I'm synchronizer Gene Rodimich and I did a good job. Another issue I have is, once the premise is established, is the stakes. I mean, the fact is, the premise of wanting to get into a theater and see whatever is pretty low stakes unless the character has some burning reason to want to get into this theater. So we need to know more about Cubby the bear before we can really buy into the story as an audience. But when Cubby the bear finally gets his first line, is it some kind of beautiful poetic summation of his place in this world? No, it's, get this. Hey! That's right. Hey. Yeah, the main character says hey, and then uses a wacky hat to immediately bounce into the office above the theater. And this is supposed to make me invested in the story because why? We still don't know, because the movie now makes us sit through a bunch of pointless sight gags involving cows and dogs smoking, completely forgetting Cubby the bear even exists. Anyway, at this point, it finally seemed like the film was going to pick up again because Cubby pushed some kind of a button that made him go up through a trapdoor and end up where the conductor of the orchestra is supposed to be. Although, can we just stop for a minute and talk about how absurd it is that this is just now happening? That's right. A film about a bear conducting an orchestra waits until halfway through the movie for the bear to conduct the orchestra? And people are complaining about the latest Star Wars movies? Last I checked, the Star Wars movies immediately show you both stars and wars. I mean, what if they opened with Baby New Year, so you start thinking it's a New Year's movie and then it's a Star Wars movie? I mean, that would make sense. Or no, it wouldn't. Because it's not. And what was I talking about? Oh, cool! A bear is conducting an orchestra! Oh man, this is the greatest cinematic success of 2020! Oh wait, sorry. No, it's a cinematic failure because of world building. Sorry. Let me get back to my notes. So, it's one thing to imagine pigs and cows being in the audience of a musical performance. It could certainly happen, as watching a concert doesn't require any kind of human intelligence or manual dexterity. But this film expects us to believe that in this world, dogs and pigs can play classical music with no explanation. No. Do not show dogs and pigs playing the trombone unless you are prepared to show them taking years of lessons in real time. And the sad thing is, this scene really made me realize that buried within this cinematic monstrosity is actually a fascinating sci-fi concept about a cybergenetic malfunction that makes pigs capable of engaging in trombone performance at the highest level. But of course, none of that is shown in this cinematic failure. What the is going on here? A cow is eating peanuts and making a mess in the theater? Yeah, the trombone-playing pigs were one thing, but this is beyond unrealistic. Cows eat grass, they don't eat peanuts! Or is that supposed to be the joke? God, the humor in this video is so bad. Why couldn't they just make something funny like a PewDiePie Funny Moments gaming compilation? Anyway, up next we have this extended opera sequence because pigs and dogs can actually sing opera sarcasm. And this just goes on and on without even showing us anything the main character, Cubby the bear, is even doing. I mean, these cinematic failures make me so mad and... Hey, are you alright? Oh, sorry. I'm hearing a lot of yelling. Yeah, sorry, I'm just doing a sarcastic rant. Hey, yeah, is everything okay in there? I was just walking by and I heard a lot of yelling. Yeah, I was just in the middle of doing a sarcastic rant about why this year's biggest cinematic failure was Aesop's Fables opening night featuring Cubby the bear. What? Why would you do that? Why do you care? Do you have any idea who I am? No, who are you? Synchronizer Gene Rodimich. I synchronized that movie and now you're just sitting here crapping all over it. I mean, do you have any idea how difficult synchronization was back when we made Aesop's Fables opening night featuring Cubby the bear? Well, when did you make it? 1932. But wouldn't that make you, like, over 100 years old? Actually, I'm 500 years old. I'm a daywalker. Do you know what that is? It's a kind of vampire. And if you say one more bad thing about Aesop's Fables opening night featuring Cubby the bear, I'm gonna turn you into one too. Hey guys, I know I was saying that Aesop's Fables opening night featuring Cubby the bear was a cinematic failure, but I think I misspoke. Maybe it's because I hadn't seen this great ending. Yeah, that's right. A monkey or a cow hits a big drum and then everyone falls in a hole. And this works great because it's very funny. And to see a bunch of animals with trombones fall in a hole and... what am I doing? I'm sorry, but whoever made this just didn't want to do the work of writing a good ending that paid off anything that happened earlier in the story, so they just threw in the towel with this absolute failure of imagination, mercifully ending this garbage fire of a film that can only be described as absolute trash. Synchronizer Gene Logan is eating my face.